Two trucks having sex. Two trucks having sex. My muscles involuntarily flex. Two trucks having sex. Two trucks having sex. My muscles involuntarily flex. Two pickup trucks making love, American made.
Hey, listen up, Autobots and Decepticons. You listen to Prime Cuts, not the history of them fucking robots on television. I'm Nero.
I'm Audrey, and they did not curse.
That's true. Well, if this was not a family show, they would have done it.
I don't know. I think they would have gabagooled.
That's true. Today, dear listeners, we are continuing our trip through Transformers Animated Season 2 with episodes, what is this, 5 and 6?
Yeah, 5 and 6.
Velocity and Rise of the Constructicons. Hey, I'm constructing here.
There's a lot that happens in the second episode that we'll get to that makes me genuinely question how it got past, like, censors and aired. Like a lot.
So
like a lot.
Much. I don't understand. That was S&P asleep that day?
Yeah, I'm not sure how S&P let that one happen. There's a lot.
Were the fucking showrunners like doing a clown dance to distract them while they made that one? Like, I don't really understand how it happened, but I'm happy it did.
Yeah, we'll get there though. First we have to talk about Velocity, featuring a character that doesn't speak and will definitely never come back again.
Yeah, it's featuring a cool blue car who's real fast.
A cool blue car that's definitely just a cool blue car.
Just a regular car. So... You know how it is. We open up, it's nighttime, and the Autobots are yet again tracking down another Allspark fragment. And Bumblebee, he's a little bored by all this at this point. All these fucking wild spark chases, they get a little boring after a while. Thankfully, his boredom is relieved by the arrival of the street demons.
Guess what, folks? It's more... Bumblebee has once again gotten involved with illegal street racing.
That's right. This time it was his decision, though. Really, Speed Metal, it was more like Jack kind of dragged him into it. He's like, hey, listen, RC won't do this anymore, and I gotta impress a girl. But
you're my bro, right?
Come on, bro, help me out. He's like, I don't really hang out with you that much, Jack, is what he would say under, like, that's what the beat boops meant.
I do like that he, like, asked Raph for permission.
He did, I remember, that was cute. So, yeah, apparently the street demons are a illegal street racing, like, group that televise their races on pirate broadcasts. It's a lot going on there.
So the moral of this episode is that there's nothing wrong with pirating. It is always morally correct.
That's right. And so, Bumblebee's like, Bulkhead's like, oh shit, that's the street demons. Sorry, watches that all the time. And Bumblebee's like, yeah, they're fucking shitty at racing. Check this out. And he drives after him. And then this weird, cool, epic blue car shows up and just fucking obliterates two of these racers.
Bumblebee doesn't really care about that.
No.
But Prowl and Ratchet do. And I would say they do arguably the worst rescue job I've seen anyone do.
Trying
to get these drivers out of their car. So Prowl and Ratchet, go up to one of them, and Prowl says, "Think calming thoughts," as he proceeds to give her PTSD, because it is immediately followed by Ratchet saying, "And stay still," as he cuts the car apart.
Yeah, so Prowl says, "Think calming thoughts," and then he pulls out one of his fucking shuriken and, like, slices the car up.
Was it a shuriken? It was a very large blade.
It
like
was
just
one of his
very okay.
Yeah,
but a quite large blade.
Yeah. And apparently, the cops or fan zone shows up, and apparently Bulkhead did not realize that the street demons were an illegal racing operation.
Right, because he watches him. Sorry, he's like, these guys are great. There's like, I appreciate the like meta levels of crime that go on in this episode.
Yes. Oh, there's many.
People are operating. It's literally like Motor Master, right? No,
Master Disaster.
Master of Disaster. I just want to call him Motor Master because I thought that's what they were going for with the truck.
Yeah.
But Master of Disaster is like, looks at Sari and goes, how many levels of crime are you operating on? And she's like, I don't know, 3 or 4. And he's like, you are like little baby, watch this.
Yeah. So Bumblebee has this entire time been trying to catch this mysterious blue racer. But this guy is just too fast. He's somehow faster than Bumblebee. He's so fast.
Yeah, but Bumblebee does like a dark, like a mirror universe version of imprinting on this car.
Absolutely.
He's instantly obsessed in a really bad way.
He wants to fucking beat this car in a race more than anything in the whole entire world.
Yeah.
So one of these, so the two racers here got this cool looking lady with like a scarf over her face. And then we have this like glam rock dude who has a concussion.
And is voiced by Tom Kenny in one of the weirdest.
Yeah. It's
weirdest choices. His character design just does not work with Tom Kenny's voice like at all.
No, but Fanzone comes to arrest these two guys, and this he tells Bulkhead like, no, this is an illegal street racing operation. What did you think was going on here? And he's like, Sari's watching something illegal? Oh no.
How could Sari do this to me?
So back at base, Bumblebee's like, I know what I can do to catch that fucking blue bastard. And he pulls out the rocket boosters from like mid-season 1 from the episode with Nanosec.
And everyone's like, great googly moogly. What are you doing?
Prime and Ratchet are like, hey, do you remember what happened last time you put those on? You nearly fucking killed Sari. And Bumblebee's like, okay, but this time it's different. I've grown as a person, and everyone, everyone has the fucking doubt icon appear above their heads. At this point, Bumblebee is convinced, by the way, that the Blue Racer is a Decepticon in disguise.
Yes. Well,
he has no reason to think this other than he beat him in a race, and surely...
Right, which is justification enough that he is both sentient and evil.
That's right. It's like... and Prowl is like, well, he didn't really seem interested in, like, us, so I don't know why he would be a Decepticon, but Bumblebee is like, nope, he's a Decepticon. I can smell it on him. This is when Bulkhead is like, hey, sorry, you didn't tell me that these street races were illegal, and Sari goes, no, it's fine. I'm pirating the pirate signal. I'm not paying for the pay-per-view. I'm pirating it, so actually I'm not helping them in any way at all.
Yeah, I'm not giving them any money. In fact, I'm kind of like Robin Hooding them. It's actually like community service if you think about it.
That's right. And Bulkhead and Bumblebee, Bulkhead's like, we really have to put on a good example for her now that her dad's out of the picture. We Autobots need to put on a good example. And Bumblebee's like, yeah, you got it, big man. And as soon as Bulkhead exits the room, he's like, hey, show me those fucking races, sorry. I need to see the races.
Yeah, man. Where's Dom Toretto when you need him?
It's about family. So he's like,
yeah, listen. She lost her dad. She needs family. This is what this episode's really about. I cracked the code.
We did it. This is kind of like a Fast and Furious, early Fast and Furious movie before it mostly became about launching cars into space or whatever.
Slingshotting cars around cliffs.
Yeah, shooting them out of fucking skyscrapers into another skyscraper, all that sort of thing.
Oh, it's so good.
So, Bumblebee is like, all right, I gotta fucking get in on this race. So Bumblebee decides he is going to sneak in, because he has Sorry tracked down where the broadcasts are originating from. And so he's like, I'm gonna sneak into this race. I'm gonna figure out this fucking blue bastard. I'm gonna beat him, and I'm gonna expose him as a Decepticon he is.
So the person who's running these races, as we've mentioned a little bit, is Master Disaster.
A play
a stupid
on
fucking name.
Master Blaster from Mad Max 3, I believe.
Stupid. Fucking stupid.
That's why he's Australian, by the way.
Oh,
and
great.
do you know who voices him?
No, who voices him?
I want you to guess. It's not a guest voice. It's a member of our regular cast. You'll never guess it. He doesn't sound anything like he usually does.
Whoever voices Blitzwing.
Wrong. It's Bill Fagerbaki. It's fucking Patrick.
Whoa, really?
It's Bulkhead, yeah.
All right. Well, good on him.
Yeah, he literally does not sound anything like his usual voice.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, he's Master Disaster here. And the Allspark signal that everyone's been looking for, it's pretty clear, is in this fucking radio control, like remote control thing that Master Disaster has. Because, he sees Bumblebee sneaking in on this race with his fucking jets, and he's like, well, I can't have this. I can't have unsanctioned illegal street racing. So he sends the blue guy out to, like, fuck him up. Yeah,
so he also points out that, like, he's like, wow, so many people have signed up with, when after, like, Bumblebee, like, engages him.
Well, yeah, it's because what happens here is, like, he basically sends out the mysterious unnamed blue race car to just destroy him. But then Bumblebee turns into robot mode, and he's like, oh, hang on, wait, what if we had an Autobot in the race? Our fucking ratings would quadruple. That'd be amazing. So he invites Bumblebee to participate in the next race.
Right. And this is somehow still a, like, semi-death matches. Somehow still a more sustainable business model than whatever Netflix has going on right now.
That's right. Illegal street racing at night in the middle of Detroit seems like it's doing better and paying people more than Netflix can. So, Master Disaster figured something out. So, Master Disaster's like, yeah, he invites Bumblebee, but he's also like, man, imagine how amazing it would be if one of these Autobots died on one of my pay-per-views. That'd be so sick.
Yeah. He's like, I'm gonna make a snuff film. It's gonna rock.
Yeah, during this time, Sorry's been covering for Bumblebee because he was not supposed to do this.
Okay. Bumblebee does some stupid shit. Bumblebee plays some, like, really stupid games and wins some really stupid prizes here.
He calls Sorry on the phone. And it's like, hey,
expecting my man.
Hey, Sorry, I'm finished participating in that illegal street race. I got invited to the next illegal street race by Master Disaster, the guy running the illegal street race. And Bulkhead is standing in the room, just glowering at Sorry.
And then, like, he comes back and he's like, there's stuff, but he's like, okay, well, I'm going to the illegal street race. And Sorry's like, and I'm coming too. And he's like, no, you can't. It's too dangerous. And she's like, damn, it'd be wild if Bulkhead found out about you going to the street race.
Yeah.
He's like, you have to cover for me, though. And she's like, why? What do you think's happening here exactly?
Yeah, then Bumblebee gets distracted because Blitzwing is flying around, tracking down an Allspark fragment. And this,
you won't believe which one.
Yeah, this further convinces Bumblebee that it's the Blue Racer. He must be tracking the Blue Racer. So, he heads back to the plant to report to Sorry, but Bulkhead, like, fucking gives him the business, right? He's like, I said we're trying to set a good fucking example for our surrogate daughter here, and you fuck all that up and you just go do a bunch of illegal bullshit. And Bumblebee's like, yeah, but actually Blitzwing is around, so like I was right.
Meanwhile, there's like a B plot for this episode, which is like Fan Zone
Yes.
has been trying to shut down Master Disaster for like, I don't know, years probably, given his track record.
Yeah.
And manages to get his hands on these two racers that the Autobots took in earlier, and he bad cops Tom Kenny into telling him where the goods are.
Yeah.
By which I mean Master Disaster.
So he's on his way to that. Meanwhile, Bulkhead's like, okay, yeah, I understand. You can you get Bumblebee's like, I can only get to the truth, the truth of the bottom of this if I race. And Bulkhead's like, fine, but I have to come with you to make sure you don't get up to any bullshit. So, then of course Sorry begs Bumblebee to take her as well. So, we're all prepared for a big clusterfuck of a climax for this episode. Which happens right now because as the racers are getting ready, Sorry's key starts glowing and pointing towards Master Disaster's trailer. So she sneaks up there, grabs his remote control, and heads back. So and as I said before, the remote control is the thing that has had the Allspark fragment in it the whole time, and he's been using it to remotely drive the cool, epic, super fast blue race car that isn't anything more than that.
Yeah. She does not get very far with it before Master Disaster's like, hey.
Yeah, he comes
give that
back
back.
in. He comes back in and he's like, all right, time to pull my cool blue car. Huh? Wait a fucking minute. So, Bumblebee's gotta peel out, and as this also causes the rest of the racers to prematurely start the race because they think the race is starting. It's all a big mess. And yeah. Bulkhead is about to join them, but Blitzwing shows up and freezes them solid.
Now, Blitzwing, who immediately after that, Fan Zone also shows up. Is there a reason that Blitzwing goes after him? I can't remember.
I think he just sees him. He's like, oh, hey, there's
yeah, he's just like, oh, I know that guy. Fuck that guy.
He's like,
fair enough. A-cab.
Yeah, he's like, oh wait, no, I remember what it is. So he doesn't go after Fan Zone yet. Fan Zone's running in. So he freezes Bulkhead. He flies after Bumblebee because that's where the Allspark fragment is. And if you'll remember, dear listeners, Bumblebee's alternate mode is Fan Zone's car.
Oh right, okay, so it's the reverse. Blitzwing thinks he's going after Bumblebee.
Yeah, so Fan Zone pulls up alongside Bumblebee as he's being like strafed by Blitzwing, and Blitzwing is like, fuck, which one is it? And then he's like, who gives a shit? And he just starts shooting both of them.
Yeah. Now this leads to
I like when Fan Zone jumps into Bumblebee's front seat. He goes, "Why is your interior better than mine?"
Well, I wanted to. Yeah, so I had a joke about that, which is that Bumblebee's on those probiotics because his guts are clean.
That's right. There isn't a literal person-sized pile of BurgerBot wrappers in the passenger seat that's so high it triggers the seatbelt alert. I assume that's what the inside of Fan Zone's car looks like.
Yeah.
There's a raccoon living in the trunk. At some point, the blue sports car does some Fast and Furious later films shit by ramming Blitzwing in midair from jumping running through the barrier on the highway and just slamming into him in midair.
Yeah. I have a question here. He also at some point Sorry drops the remote, right? They're speeding away and she drops the remote because they get hit or something, I don't remember. And then she doesn't say anything?
Yeah, she doesn't immediately say anything. She goes back to get it later. Oh, by the way, so the remote can control Cybertronians as well, because she points the remote at Blitzwing and makes him like spin around a bunch and change form and slam into Master Disaster's trailer.
Yes, and it also works on both Bumblebee and Bulkhead, who are caught up in it.
Yes, that is pretty good, where they both get slammed against a fucking bridge support.
My favorite part of this whole thing is at the end, after a bunch of this, she like makes Blitzwing blast off again.
Yep.
Like Team Rocket. And that's all fine and good. And then Fanzone makes his arrest. And what makes me insane about this is that he says, well, Master Disaster, I consider yourself canceled. And I was like, damn, Fanzone's the woke mob. Like that one, did ya?
Yeah, that was pretty good. So after this misadventure, Bumblebee decides he's going to set a better example by cutting Sari's pirate antenna.
Narcs the whole lot of them. I will say,
right.
though, like, the very end of this episode with all of them being, like, pirating bad was like, I was like, you wouldn't download a car!
You wouldn't download a car.
Which it was exactly what happened in this episode.
Yeah. And by the way, so the blue car, after he fucking rammed Blitzwing in midair, he peeled away, and Bumblebee never got to like close that loop. So he sees the car driving by when he's up on the roof. Anyway, he yells out, "Thank you!" But he's like, "Gosh, who is that mysterious racer?" I guess we'll never know.
We'll never know because it wasn't anybody.
Yeah, it's just a car.
Don't worry, it's definitely not one half of probably the most popular ship in this particular series fandom.
Yeah, it's just never a it's just nothing. Just a blue car.
If you know, you know.
Anyway, it's time for the fucking Constructicons to rise.
It's time for an episode of this series that never should have seen the light of day. If I'm being completely honest. Yeah. It's one I enjoy very much, and it never should have aired.
It's crazy. So, Autobots are still rebuilding Detroit. Turns out, it takes a long time to rebuild the city, after Megatron happens to it. And, it's like, everyone's kind of complaining, and, Optimus is like, hey, look, we're kind of responsible for blowing this shit up, and also we're like a space bridge repair crew. We're maintenance bots. Now, I have a question.
Yeah.
About Blitzwing and Lugnut.
Yeah.
Are they okay? This is some true Team Rocket activity they are engaging in at the beginning of this episode.
What were they doing at the beginning of the episode?
So Bumblebee looks down from like the highway bridge they're repairing.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
And he sees them scurrying like crabs, laden down with like, raw construction materials, and just running. And he's like, "Wait a fucking minute."
Here's the thing with like, in very different ways, we know that neither of them are okay.
That's
like
true.
We're aware of that.
We know Blitzwing is not okay.
Yeah.
We've seen him. But yeah, so they're stealing a bunch of fucking, like, construction equipment and materials, but they took so much that they can't fly. I really like... So Bumblebee, he jumps down, he's like, alright, time to take out these Decepticons. And we get, like, this fucking sweet stock footage transformation of him bringing out his stingers and unloading into Lugnut, who literally doesn't react at all and just almost steamrolls him. Because Bumblebee's little things fucking suck.
Yeah, his stingers aren't, like, great.
They aren't meant to be weapons. They're
right. Like, that's the sort of thing to keep in mind in general watching this series. And, like, as with every other Transformer series and, like, every other children's cartoon in general, the villains are exactly as... Excuse me. Exactly as strong and competent as they need to be in every moment. But, yeah. it is in animated, it is particularly notable that, frequently the Autobots suck shit because they do just genuinely suck shit.
Yeah, they are not.
They're civilians.
They're not built for war. The war has been over for a while now. Generally, animated Decepticons higher rate of competency than most other Decepticons generally, right? Certainly more than like G1. They aren't the villains of every episode, and sometimes, like this time they basically get out on top. So yeah, Ratchet ends up tripping them with a fucking power pole. So they lose some of their stuff, but they fly away with the rest. And everyone is left wondering, like, why do they need to steal all of this, like, construction material? Meanwhile, Bulkhead...
It's almost as though they're constructing something. Shit.
Constructing some kind of bridge to space. Bulkhead is having a really hard time mixing some concrete.
Yeah, he makes himself a nice little pair of concrete shoes, which has never been, I think, as literal as this.
Yeah, I love that, it's nighttime now, and all the other Autobots are heading off. And Optimus is like, hey, Bulkhead, you coming? And Bulkhead glances down at his feet, which have been, concreted to the floor, and he's like, I'll catch up. Don't worry about me. I'm just so
dedicated.
I'm just, I just gotta finish mixing this cement.
Oh, no, don't say it like that.
Cement. Meanwhile, across town, 2 beautiful boys are born. A fucking cement mixer and I forget what those the Scoopy Mwatsits. They are granted life by the Allspark.
An excavator.
They are granted life by the Allspark. And this is what happens in order. Number 1, they immediately start arguing. Number 2, they figure out each other's names. Number 3, they transform and learn that they can transform. Number 4, they sexually harass a sports car.
This is not the last time they will sexually harass a sports car in this episode. It happens a lot.
This is
like so much, folks. I cannot express to you enough how much catcalling it is in this episode.
These 2 fucking doofuses are horny as hell for sports cars. So yeah, this is Mixmaster, or Mix, as he's known to his friends.
That's so annoying to me. It's like, he calls himself Mixmaster, and then he's like, no, that's too long, just call yourself Mix. I'm like, his name is Mixmaster.
And then they do the inverse of that joke, where
with Scrapper.
Because he sees a sign that says Scrap's like, my name's Scrap. And Mixmaster goes, too short, make it longer, I'm gonna call you Scrapper. And he's like, okay.
I do want to talk about Scrapper's really cute excavator mouth.
Yeah, these designs are great.
So before they figure out they can transform, they're having this conversation in their alt modes, and Scrapper's excavator, like the actual scoop, is moving like a mouth, like a little Muppet. It's really cute, really well done. So, they also get through an existential crisis very quickly.
Oh yeah. They
not gonna ruin their day.
Absolutely, they're just chugging. They see that fucking little sports car. They forget everything. So Scrapper is voiced by Tom Kenny, and Mixmaster is Jeff Glenn Bennett. And Jeff Glenn Bennett also voices Fanzone, and he is specifically doing a Joe Pesci impression for Mixmaster here. A pretty good one. Also, Mixmaster has an ass crack. Did you notice this?
I did not notice that, no.
He has a built-in plumber's crack.
Cool. So
yeah, they go off chasing this fucking sports car, which, by the way, is also a running gag from RID 2001. Sideburn in that series has a crush on one of the human side characters' cars. Or just
they need to get freakier.
Yeah. So, Bulkhead causes an explosion somehow. It's expired fixative. He's bad. He's like 1 part dried concrete, 1 part water. Well, gee, what's a part? And he like tries to figure out what a part is, and he just fucks it up and explodes the cement, which is generally not supposed to happen.
Yeah, well, he is not the best at this, for sure.
Also, can you imagine, by the way, we cut back to the Constructicons chasing this car. Can you imagine being the driver of this fucking car?
Oh my god, no.
Two gigantic pieces of industrial machinery speeding down the highway after you. You don't know they're fucking robots. You don't know why this is happening.
Trying to fuck your car like it's fucking robot chicken. Also, yeah, and again, back to, like, the Bulkhead thing. Even not getting the parts right, it is impressive that he accidentally made napalm.
Yeah, he did, which will come in handy later.
Yeah, a secret. This is et cetera, et cetera.
So he is about to get fucking destroyed by some falling girders, but luckily the Constructicons, say what you will about them, they cannot abide unsafe work practices. They
are unbelievably OSHA compliant.
That's right. They fucking save his ass. Are you okay there, buddy? He's like, you're fine. And Bulkhead is like, what is happening? What is going on here? Who are you? Are you Autobots or Decepticons? And Scrapper and Mixmaster just kind of shrug.
We're guys being dudes.
Yeah, they're just guys being dudes. They're like, hey, you want to go out for some oil? So they do. They go out for brewskis after the shift.
Again, how SMP didn't stop like half the things in this show. They steal the oil. So first of all, they're clearly drinking. They clearly get belligerently drunk.
Yes.
And they steal it. How did this pass muster? I don't get it.
So, yeah, they're drinking oil out of these big barrels that sure do look a lot like beer steins. And later, you know, we have Megatron mentioning that that's from his private reserve and all of this stuff. So yeah, they're yeah, this was from the era of cartoons where you just, as long as it wasn't actually alcohol, you just have dudes get drunk. It's fine. Fucking whatever, man.
Literally.
So yeah, they're drinking it with Bulkhead, and Bulkhead's like, "Are you sure we should be stealing this?" And they're like, "Hey, forget about it."
They're not gonna miss some dead dinosaurs. You don't happen to know any of those guys, by the way, right?
Fucking Grimlock lifts his head up on Dinobot Island. Me feel disturbance. Me going to kick Bulkhead's ass tomorrow. But yeah, they I like this moment where the Constructicons make fun of Bulkhead being reticent to like steal stuff or whatever by saying, "Oh, you ain't some little yellow compact, are you?" And you know, make like chicken noises, and Bulkhead goes like, "Oh, I'm friends with a shitty yellow compact. You want to meet him?"
Yeah, in fact, you should meet everyone. Fuck it.
No, yeah. So we cut to the Autobot base where everybody is just standing there looking at these guys like, what the fuck is happening? Bulkhead, where did you find these dudes?
Now, remember, at this point, they are already belligerently drunk.
Oh yeah, they are fucking smashed. And they're still drinking.
So, you know what now that I think about it, actually what it kind of reminds me of?
What?
It kind of reminds me of all the evil gremlins from Gremlins.
Yeah, they got fed after midnight.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like all the other Autobots here, they're going around, they're like, geez, these guys are real loud and belligerent and crude. And Bulkhead's like, yeah, they're not so bad when you get to know them. And Optimus kind of takes him inside, is like, Bulkhead, how long have you known them? Bulkhead's like, an hour and a half. Why?
And as they're talking, they like throw like razor blades that take off both of Sari's pigtails. Yeah,
because Sari walks out and her PJ's like, what is happening? Why is it so loud out here? I'm trying to sleep. Yeah, they nearly fucking take her head off. Because because they're playing frisbee with like a flattened oil drum. Because you're like, hey, Bulkhead, you gotta smash it flat after you drain it.
Oh right, yeah, they're right. It's
Like-
a razor sharp like can edge frisbee that they're using that just take both of her pigtails right off.
Yeah, at that point, Optimus says, "That's it, you're out. Get out of my house." So they kick the at this point they're just the Constructibots out, and they want Bulkhead to come, but Optimus isn't letting him hang out with his cool new drunk friends.
He gets very classist here.
That old elite guard training starts coming out.
He's like, I don't think you or Sorry should be hanging out with people, with uncultured people like that. He's
like, damn.
He's like, yeah, okay, they're a little rough around the edges. Like, they're not gentlemen, but, like, they're not bad people. Damn, Optimus.
Damn, Optimus. So you still got that blue blood in you, huh? It's still coming out there. I do like that they're so crass. Even Ratchet is like, these guys are just real fucking assholes. Ratchet says that. So yeah, next day, it's the next morning, and...
Well, I mean, to be fair, like, Ratchet's not unclassy. He's just a jerk.
That's true.
But these guys are unclassy.
They're salt
These
of the
guys are
earth.
Definitively unclassy.
Salt of the earth, blue collar types, the working Joes of Cybertron.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, Blitzwing and Lugnut are engaging in a Sisyphean task of pushing a bunch of bullshit uphill, which Blitzwing nearly dies from. But luckily, the Constructibots have, once again, they're not here for unsafe workplace practices.
I will say I did appreciate seeing how quickly Blitzwing falls into the role of dissenting Decepticon without Starscream around.
Oh yeah,
he's over it.
Yeah, he's like, man, you ever notice how whenever any real work has to get done, suddenly Megatron isn't around and Lugnut's like, shut your fucking mouth. I'll kill you.
First of all, how dare you?
But so they encounter these two fucking yahoos, and their first question is, who are you? Or are you Autobots? And the Constructibots go, yeah, sure. And upon seeing Blitzwing and Lugnut arming their weaponry, they go, not really. We're the other guys. We're the Decepticons. And they're like, oh great, can you help us push this stuff up this hill? And they're like, great. And Lugnut's a little cautious about letting these two guys and bringing them to their secret mine base. But Blitzwing's like, it's fine, we'll just have them do our manual labor for us and we'll fucking kill them. Like, don't worry about it.
And Lugnut's like, oh, so true, Bestie. And Blitzwing's like, I'm gonna kill you myself.
It's like, your days are numbered. So yeah, they do all the work, and Lugnut gets ready to fucking hit him with the punch of kill everything.
Yeah. I have to, like, over and over again, we keep seeing... I think Blitzwing, interestingly, is one of the most consistently competent Decepticons we see in any of the franchise. He really doesn't get his ass handed to him, but he's also like smart, right?
Yeah.
And it helps that it helps that there's three of him.
That's also his biggest weakness, though, because if if without that, he would be the most competent guy. Because if you'll remember in the first season finale, the way that they take Blitzman is that they make him so mad while he's flying around that he is forced to turn into his hothead personality, which only uses the tank alternate mode, and he drops into the fucking lake.
Right. But
so you can sort of twist that to your advantage, but yeah, he is he's pretty competent.
Yeah. It's interesting.
Unfortunately for Lugnut, this is 1 for 3 on Punch of Kill Everything backfires. Because Megatron interrupts him as he's about to murder these two guys, and Lugnut falls off balance into the mine shaft. You just see a gigantic explosion, and distantly you just hear him go, "I'm okay." So that's, yeah, one for three of, like, did the poke work or did it backfire? Not a good ratio to be at, frankly.
No, isn't it like 2 for 4?
Has he successfully used it twice?
I think so. I think it's 2 for 4.
Okay, 2 for 4. That's still not that good.
No, it's a 50-50. 50-50 is not the odds you want on that.
But, you know, Megatron's like, hey, look, these guys are clearly hard workers. They know a lot about engineering. Maybe they can help us out with this project.
I mean, he's I love how, like, blunt and, like, mask off he is this entire time, where he's just like, no, I can still use them. Like, don't kill them. We can still use these guys. Don't
kill, like, guys that you can use, like, nut. So, yeah, they go in there, and, you know, earlier they remarked that Sorry was the Autobot's pet. And so when they go down into the mine, they go, oh, hey, you guys have a pet too. And Megatron's like, yes, he's a very useful pet.
Of course, referring to Isaac.
That's right, in his little fucking tank. And they show the Constructibots, like, hey, we got this space bridge project, but we really need to figure out that we can't quite, like, get it together. And immediately they are like, oh, no, you can't, you need better materials than we got access to here, but we can do, yeah, we can.
Well, you need more materials, at least.
You need to make more things. We could do this. It'll take a couple of weeks. We could probably do this thing. And so
Megatron's like, I'm so glad to hear that.
That's right. So they tell him what they need to do. Next morning, Bulkhead's out looking for his buddies because, you know, they vanished. And he finds them running from the cops because they stole a fuck ton of construction supplies,
which they are carrying. They both have, like, arms full of I-beams.
They're just running. And immediately Bulkhead jumps in and smashes all these police bots because, you know, he's helping his friends. But then he's like, wait, you're working for the Decepticons? Bro, they're bad.
And they're like, no, they're funny, especially that Megatron guy. He's like, bro, he's the worst of them.
He's war criminal number 1. Look, Bulkhead's like, listen, guys, they're just using you for your great construction skills. You need to go back there and give them a piece of your mind. So they go, and they're trying, you know, they're gonna bust down that door, and unfortunately, Bulkhead does not tell them to go. They go themselves, and they accidentally bury him in construction girders, which is why he can't go after them and tell them not to do it. So yeah, they're trying to bust down into the Decepticon base when Megatron grabs both of them by the throat and is like, "What the fuck are you doing here?"
Well, they're like, you lied to us.
Yeah, we heard you guys fucking suck. You're the worst. And Megatron literally goes, what? My goodness.
It's so bad.
My goodness, wherever did you hear such a terrible rumor? And they're like, from our Autobot friend. He's like, my friends, you cannot trust those treacherous Autobots. Come in and I will treat you to some fine motor oil from my private reserve.
And they're like, damn, this motor oil fucks.
Yeah. Look, here's the thing. Mixmaster and Scrapper ain't bad guys at all. They ain't scumbags. The problem is that they just go wherever the oil is. And Megatron's got the good shit. It's a special blend.
It is a special.
Does he recreationally drink that stuff? Like, he must. He had it lying around.
Maybe it's just like a status thing.
Yeah. So yeah, it's like, and basically Megatron gives them this whole, like, listen, you can be Constructibots, and you can, like, spend your days building fucking highway bridges and like repaving city blocks or whatever. But if you become Constructicons, you can build fucking space bridges and lead to the reconquest of Cybertron. You'll be heroes on Cybertron.
That sounds appealing to them.
Yeah, they're like, yeah, that sounds pretty good. Heroes get oil, right? And Megatron's like, yeah.
They are simple brains, Optimus.
Simple brains. So Bulkhead's, he reports back to his latest interaction with the Constructicons. He's like, hey, it's okay, they got wrapped up in some Decepticon business, but it's okay. They went over to give them a piece of their mind, and everyone's like, Bulkhead, they know where we live. You just let them go over there? He's like, what?
They wouldn't sell us out.
They would never join the Decepticons and become some kind of Constructicons, and then the Constructicons show up and say, hey, we're Constructicons now. What's up? So they're like, hey, look, we don't want to rough anybody up. We don't want to hurt you guys.
Well, no, they don't say that. They say, Bulkhead, we do not want to rough you up.
Yeah. Your friends, whatever. That fucking guy with the pretty lips over there fucking called us bad names. We don't like him very much, but you're cool. All we need is all of the fragments of the Allspark you've collected. And Optimus is like, hey, no, you don't want to do that. So they just punch him.
Listen, they get the job done.
And I mean, these guys are fucking tough, as we'll see later. They are quite durable, even by Decepticon-ish standards. And yeah, Bulkhead just seems to go get it. He grabs the Allspark chamber and hands it to him.
Did you ever watch Star Trek?
I have never seen any Star Treks, no, other than the first two J.J. Abrams movies, which are not, as I understand, are not really much Star Trek. They don't.
The first one is, I would say, it's not great, but the first one is good enough, but the second one's terrible. So they're one of the most well-known Star Trek episodes has them going back in time to 1942, I believe. And it is Spock and Bones and obviously Kirk. It's 1930, and it's a episode called "The City on the Edge of Forever," and basically, like, Bones and Kirk both fall in love with this woman, Edith Keeler, who's like a missionary. I think she's like working on the Salvation Army or whatever. And they have to like let her die basically because she was a huge pacifist. And if she had survived, the U.S. would have not gotten involved in World War II, and the Nazis would have won. And so, like, it's a episode about like the butterfly effect and like having to like betray the one you love and like let them die. That's sort of what Bulkhead goes through here.
Yeah, he's way less. He's a little torn up about it. I was about to say he's not too torn up about it, but he is kind of like bummed. Like you can see like the look on his face, like he's really sad that he has to do this. Yeah. That like he feels like these guys need to die. So he gives them this. He gives them the Allspark fragments, and he goes, "Hey boys, one more for the road," and it gives them some oil.
Yeah, before I old yeller you.
Yeah, so they walk out. And, immediately, all of the other Autobots are like, Bulkhead, what the fuck is wrong with you?
This is also like, another thing, by the way, that's crazy it got through SMP.
Oh, yeah. And they're like, but no, he's like, no, guys, trust me. They're like, no, not after all this. And so they run after them. But yeah, as Scrapper and Mixmaster are walking, they're getting some tummy problems. They're getting a little bit of the old rumblies, and as it turns out, Bulkhead put a little bit of that expired chemical into the oil, and they explode. Yeah.
Well, the good news is not enough to keep them down.
That's right. They like everyone is like it's a gigantic explosion, and all the other Autobots are looking on. They're like, oh my god, Bulkhead, I'm sorry you had to do that. And then the smoke clears and they just stagger to their feet. And they're like, oh god, why are they still alive? But as it turns out, that explosion rattled their memory circuit, so they have forgotten all about their interactions with both the Autobots and the Decepticons. They don't know shit.
And now brand new again and ready to be taught the right ways of the world, Bulkhead responds to this by immediately trying to kill them.
Yeah, he's like, "Hey, this, then you shouldn't have fucked with Megatron." And he like starts swinging his fucking wrecking ball, and he scares them off. And he's like, "Ah, shit, I shouldn't have done it. Oh no." So yeah, they run off, and there's a weird pose thing at the end of this where, like, Bulkhead's all sad, and Optimus like, "It's okay, Bulkhead. They might be smelly, dirty pores, but I think that someday they'll make the right choice." And he does like a fucking Superman pose.
Yeah, it's like, it ends with this like really weird note where the Autobots are all like, "We are the sole arbiters of morality. Hooray!"
It's like, okay, Optimus, whatever, man. But yeah, that's where it ends. The Constructicons are still out there somewhere, chugging oil and chasing tailpipes. Those rambunctious fellas.
Those beautiful souls.
That's right. Salt of the earth. True salt of the earth boys is what they are. Well, it's time for some questions. And we have one on Twitter from What Is Cosplay, Cass on Twitter. If you could replace one Autobot in these episodes with the animated version of a movie character, who would it be and why?
Like from the...
I don't know if this is just the Bay movies or just any movie. Just like any of them. Choose a movie.
Maybe it's supposed to be any movie because it's supposed to be like a Pesci impression.
Yeah, there's a Joe Pesci.
I don't know. That seems too big for me.
Replace... I don't know. I can't think of anything. Like... Well, I also can't think of anything for like a Bay movie counterpart either, because that's like a whole different, like, that's not even the same ballpark we're in. Yeah, I don't know. I just don't know. I can't think of any role I'd slot like a movie character into, and put like Leonardo DiCaprio as Jordan Belfort in The Wolf of Wall Street just in the episode. I don't know why. Yeah, sorry, Cass, we got nothing. You want to take us through the Discord?
Yeah, sure. Give me one moment. Okay. Our first question from VR from New York from Disney Minus is, that mystery car sure was fast, am I right? I'm sure that could outrun death in whatever crushing form it took if it had to. Right?
Yeah, it's fine.
It depends on what universe. Are the Constructicons faster than Cyberverse Blur? Sexually.
Yeah, they're trucking and fucking. If they could get away with it, I'm sure the animators would have given them the sexy lady mudflap.
Could Cyberverse Blur survive in the animated universe? Probably. There's just less existential threat in the animated universe.
Yeah, I was about to say there's no cosmic rust in the animated universe, but then I remembered there actually is. And there's a guy named Oil Slick who uses it as a fucking biological weapon.
But generally speaking, I think there's less like existential threat.
He would have a way better time. Yes. Yeah. I don't think entire planets don't just crumble.
Unmake themselves. Yeah.
Yeah, in animated. Like some dark stuff happens, but not on that scale.
Yeah. And it's much more interpersonal.
Yeah, it's Ratchet's war trauma, not oopsie, we destroyed an entire star system by accident.
It's double agents.
Right.
From me, Mr. Gay, Daphnis, which B wore it, parentheses, illegal racing, better, TFA or TFP? Animated was definitely more jazzed about it.
He was more into it, but I will say, I think that Speed Metal is a better episode, only because it's a knockout episode. He's in that. If you'll remember the street racing episode of Prime, knockout is all way into street racing, and that was very fun.
Yeah. From Sidewinder Sabrina, would the Constructicons be pro or anti-union, and if so, which versions would or wouldn't be? All of them are union men.
That's right. I mean, sometimes very literally.
G1 most of all.
Oh yeah. These guys definitely would be too. You just need to coach them through it more. They were literally born yesterday.
You need to give them 4 more members of their polycule.
Yeah, they need more guys to sort of rein them in.
But G1, I mean, Devastator, that is like the definition of a union man.
That's right, strong. It's the union strong.
Union strong enough to absorb non-union members into the polycule.
Prowl's just like,
adding to their long list of ex-boyfriends.
Prowl's just like, I guess I'm a member of a construction union.
Oh god.
Now?
Okay, here's how you know that Prowl is like the worst character, one of the worst characters in the comics, because the Constructicons force him into their polycule, and then he goes, actually, this rules.
Yeah.
And it's like, homie, no, you suck so much.
He's so good. Oh my god! The entire like back half of Prowl's arc as a character is so amazing because it's just him like stumbling through the ruins of the world that he wrought and like just running into all of his exes and just all of them saying, "Man, you fucking suck, dude."
It's Prowl flipping tables, shaking hands with Chris Redfield, punching rocks.
Yeah, it's like fuck, I'm being hunted by Sentinel Prime. And he's like, Fort Max, help me. And he's like,
no. Fort Max like, I fucking hate this guy.
Do I gotta?
Yeah, God. From Slipstream Sam Reel. With illegal street racing showing up, what would be the inevitable in-universe Transformers Fast and Furious crossover movie be called? Get it as insane as you can.
Okay. This is coming in the next 3 years. This is actually they were teasing G.I. Joe at the end of The Rise of the Beasts. But actually the next movie is Fast and the Furious. I mean, you gotta roll like More Than Meets the Eye in there somehow, right? Like, what do we roll into this title?
Maybe that's just rolling out.
Yeah. Fast and the Furious, rolling out.
Oh no, They See Me Rolling.
No. No.
They Hayden.
No, I'm Hayden. I refuse to engage with that. No, it's
Fast and Furious, Riding Dirty. Transformers, Riding Dirty.
Oh goodness. You remember that fucking like that's like, you know, that Star Wars Detours thing that's like that terrible Robot Chicken knockoff that they never let see the light of day because it sucked so bad. That's what Transform. There's like after the Star Wars Robot Chicken stuff happened, they were like, oh, we can just make a show out of this on our own. And so they produced this terrible. Yeah, they produced a full season of this fucking god awful like Robot Chicken-y thing called Star Wars Detours.
Oh my god!
I think the first episode is out on.
I'm like not sure I believe you that this is a real thing. I know that it is, but it's like really hard for me to accept.
You can look it up on YouTube. I think the first episode is on YouTube, and maybe the whole season is floating around on the internet somewhere. But it's really like it's so bad. That's what Transformers Riding Dirty sounds like to me. It's like a sub-Robot Chicken parody show produced by Hasbro somehow.
Wow.
That's a world I don't want to live.
Yeah, that's bad. What was the question we were trying to answer again?
What is the Fast and Furious Transformers crossover movie called?
Yeah. I think it's Transformers Riding Dirty. Rise of the Dirty.
No. No, we have to move on.
He said get as insane with it as we could.
He did. And you did.
That's what I'm here for. From Aurora Animated, what film should get a sequel that takes place in Japan and is almost entirely unrelated to the first film, aside from a guy showing up at the end, a la Tokyo Drift?
Star Wars.
Frozen.
Frozen. It's just a Big Hero 6 sequel, but then Elsa shows up at the end.
Exactly.
Like, it's been the same. It's not only the same universe; it's the same time. I'm just over here.
Yeah, it's Frozen Ishin.
Yeah. Oh, you thought that shit was in like medieval Europe or whatever? No.
No, it is. I'm saying it's Frozen Ishin.
Yeah. Oh my god. Yeah, there we go. Fucking.
From Ruby Road Rage, Ruby, could you trick the Constructicon Union out of rights and health plans with a free one-day use beer crossed out oil tap?
These guys, yes.
These guys, yes. If Hook was there, no.
Yeah, no, Hook is the one who keeps them on track.
And Scrapper.
Yeah.
In every other universe, Scrapper, but like...
If you get like original G1 Constructicons, if you get Bone Crusher, Scavenger, and Longhaul together in a room and give them that offer, they might take it.
Hook's a med school dropout. Yeah. So he knows I'm sure he was part of the like intern residence like union, because they work those guys to the bone. So he knows about exploitation.
That's right. He's like, no, listen, you need to hold yourselves to higher standards.
Hook is, I will say, Hook is one of like my favorite G1 characters because he is so long suffering. Being the head medic for the Decepticons when you're not even an actual medic is like, good God, man.
That's a stressful job.
It's a stressful job. Well, okay.
God.
More from Veer here. Last episode, you all said that Ultra Magnus was Odin, but what kind of Odin pranks does Ultra Magnus do to his friends, family, and enemies? Example of Odin pranks. To some giants with really good beer. Drinks all of their beer, turns into a bird, and shit the beer into their mouths while they were chasing him for drinking all of their beer. To Loki. Tells him to turn into a hot lady horse to distract a magic horse, which gets him pregnant, and Odin takes his horse baby to ride around as a funny little haha. To his son, Thor, pretends to be a ferryman so that when Thor politely asks him to ferry him and his thunder goats across the river, he can do all of the you mama jokes at you, and yes, Odin understands that he's insulting his wife, that just makes it funnier for him.
I love Norse mythology.
Yeah, we may have been wrong with Ultra Magnus, because he doesn't actually have a sense of humor.
The problem is that animated, I mean, all Ultra Magnuses, but especially animated Ultra Magnus, is like the most serious guy.
Rodimus is his sense of humor and basically everything that he's
not
in.
Here.
Yeah, and he's not here.
Sentinel instead, and that's no good.
Yeah.
Like, no one wants that. Yeah, no, Ultra Magnus, you know...
Sentinel's too busy getting his Netflix special canceled for racism.
Oh, you don't want to hear all the organic joke he's got in that one. That's... Oh, boy. But no, Ultra Magnus is all of the godly, awesome powers of Odin and like the wise sort of level-headed leadership with none of the hijinks. Ultra Magnus is physically incapable of engaging in hijinks. Unlike Optimus Prime, who, if we remember, I don't think we covered this episode yet, but he does ball in G1. He does play some b-ball. Right. He does a sweet dunk. Ultra Magnus can never do. Ultra Magnus is not balling. I'm gonna put that on the record.
Yeah. Alright, from Aurora Animated again. Is Megatron a microbrew guy? No, that's Scotch.
Yeah, that is like blended Scotch. From his like barrel aged for fucking 1,000 megacycles. Like, it's got hints of fucking cinnamon in there. It's not a microbrew. It's not like an IPA or anything.
Right.
Now this one I have.
That's Scotch.
This next one though.
Yeah, and then also from that, what other TF characters are microbrew guys?
Brainstorm from fucking IDW1.
I disagree.
That man has some kind of microbrewing operation.
Nope, it's moonshine.
Oh God.
It is not that classy. It is not craft beer. It is not microbrew. It is bathtub gin, my man.
Oh man. He's making prison wine on the Lost Light, and Rodimus is like, Brainstorm, we have a bar. It's like, but this is more fun. I like it.
And someone's got to stick it to Swerve.
That's right. I'm engaging in competition. It's like, Brainstorm, I drank this the other day and my fucking eyes fell out. Well, you're gonna get that. It's worth it for the flavor profile, though. God, who's an actual microbrew guy? A microbrew guy is like...
Actually, you know who is?
I'm trying to construct the idea.
Perceptor.
What's your idea? Ooh, yes. I think because I'm trying to construct the image of the microbrew guy in my head right now.
Mm-hmm. Rotating it in your mind.
Yeah, the kind of guy that is. It's like someone who's pretty well off, likes beer a lot, but maybe knows a lot about beer, but doesn't know enough to be like a professional brewmaster somewhere. Amateur, but like well equipped. Because I don't think Perceptor fits that. I think he's too.
You know who might be?
Who?
Magnus.
Yeah.
Or Minimus.
Minimus. Minimus is I could look. Minimus makes the hoppiest IPAs you've ever fucking tasted in your entire life.
I don't know if he makes it, but I think he's a big appreciator of it.
Oh, he's an IPA guy. Yeah. I mean, look at that mustache. That's the mustache of an IPA guy.
Right.
Is Tarn a fucking microbrew guy?
No, Tarn is like a red wine guy.
That's right.
He's like, I'm so cultured.
I can taste the hints of...
And then Scotch because Megatron is.
That's right. This is from Megatron's private blend. Yeah, you say that every fucking time, Tarn.
Every time it's actually rat piss that Starscream has like replaced his.
Oh yeah, he is selling that line of fucking Scotch just like with the label printed on it, but it's not the same thing. It's just some fucking bottom of the barrel, like literally bottom shelf Scotch that he's repackaged, and Tarn just can't tell the difference. I think. But we have established who all is like a microbrewer enjoyer, but we haven't targeted the microbrewer guy.
Swindle.
Yep, there he is. Found him.
Swindle. Who will never say no to a business opportunity.
Absolutely not. He's got a microbrewery. He's got a bathtub gin distillery. He's got a fucking marijuana grow op. He's got everything. And
actually, you know what? He probably works with Blur.
Yep. Yeah. It's Swindle. Swindle's fucking Combaticon IPA. Beautiful. Now I like this last one.
Yeah. So our final question from Sidewinder Sabrina: what would every Autobot we've seen's drink of choice be? Same with the Decepticons.
All right. So
we have to just restrict this to animated.
Yeah. I think she's asking to animated. So I think starting with the Autobots, Bumblebee is too young to drink. He gets like Shirley Temples or whatever. He gets mocktails, so he feels included. I think Bulkhead is just like a dark beer guy. I think he strikes me as a Guinness man. I don't know why.
I think Guinness is actually too nice. He's a Budweiser.
Yeah, he is. He's another salt of the earth guy, just like the Constructicons. Prowl, flavored sake.
I think unflavored sake.
Unflavored sake served hot.
Yeah.
All the way.
Or like Ratchet, a matcha highball.
Mm-hmm. Ratchet is an old-fashioned guy.
Yes.
In that he is old and also he drinks old fashions.
Yes.
Optimus Prime. Is he a teetotaler? Is he a straight edge guy?
No, I think he indulges, but like he's like a one drink a week kind of guy.
Yeah, he's a social drinker. I think he just drinks. He's like nice.
I think he's also a working man.
I think he prefers lighter beers. He likes a Blue Moon or something.
Yeah.
And I guess we can extend this to Sentinel, Magnus, and Jazz. Magnus definitely does not drink.
Not in this one. Yeah.
No, this Magnus absolutely not. Sentinel
drinks wine.
Yeah, he's a wine drinker. And he lets you know.
Yeah.
He drinks wine. He's like, he drinks
it. He makes like bullshit like tasting notes.
Oh yeah, he is a fake sommelier all the way.
Yeah.
And Jazz, I think Jazz just tries whatever. I think Jazz is very adventurous. He's always up to try something new. But I guess what is his go-to? What is his
I think he's just like a cocktail guy.
Yeah, he's always
because there's like variability there.
Yeah, he's always experimenting.
Yeah.
Now, the cons, we've already established Animated Megatron is a blended Scotch guy on the rocks. Maybe like 1 drop of simple syrup, maybe. If he's feeling spicy that night.
I think Blitzwings are like a sangria, like 2 drinks mixed together kind of thing, or like
absolutely. Or does each face has its own preferences?
Or like maybe a black and yellow?
Yeah, I think a sangria is probably right.
Yeah, I like sangria because you can see the difference in it, which I like.
Black Arachnia. Now, Black Arachnia.
Like a Black Widow martini.
Yeah, like I think she definitely strikes me as a martini girl. But does she take it dry or dirty is the question.
Dry. You know what? I think actually maybe like a Vesper.
Yeah, very classy. Lugnut.
Lugnut just drinks oil.
I think
Lugnut's dumber than dirt.
I think he wishes he could appreciate Megatron's blended Scotch, and he pretends to, but he doesn't like the taste of it. Starscream, white wine.
I say rosé all day for Starscream.
Oh, you're right. He is a rosé bitch. Do we count Wreck-Gar among this? I guess we also have seen him. Wreck-Gar drinks
Everclear.
Yeah, just
it's the only thing he's good for. Trash.
he drinks fucking raw ethanol. And he likes it. I think that's everyone, right? I think that's everyone we've seen thus far.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's everyone's, we could revisit this after the season's finale, where we could tack like fucking 9 new guys onto it. Oh, I guess, we actually never, I was about to say, we forgot the Constructicons. We know what the Constructicons are drinking. It's fucking Miller High Life all the way.
Is it Miller or is it Coors?
Oh, I know. Oh, you're right, it's Coors. Because they're like, the champagne of beers, that's too fucking fancy. Get out of here. Fuck that shit. Pabst Blue.
PBR!
It is PBR. It absolutely is PBR. They're totally PBR guys.
PBR and Natty Light, baby.
Yeah. Miller High Life is when they're celebrating. It's like, it's a special night. Break out the Miller.
Oh my god.
It's our team won the game. Let's get a fucking 6-pack of Miller. And
oh
my
really god,
so
disgusting. Literally so disgusting.
Wretched. Yes, that is all of our questions on Discord. Folks, we have been Prime Cuts. I'm Nero. You can find me on Twitter at DragonSmoocher, on co-host at DragonSnuggler, on Tumblr, tumblr.com/Cyclonus with a 5 at the end of it, and on Blue Sky at, I believe it's just, Nero Wyvern on Blue Sky. I don't do anything but retweet, or excuse me, re-skeet. We can't call it re-skeeting, can we? That can't be true. I think that has to stop. I think we need to reconsider all of our lives on Blue Sky. If we're all gonna live there, we have to consider what we call it.
Recloud.
That's nothing. I'm sorry. I don't know what that is. That as an action, who knows what that could mean?
Oh yeah, and what's reskeet then?
It's when you. I don't want to describe it. Anyway, I've got other podcasts that one may listen to if they like, such as Talk Cycles, the monthly animation podcast I do with my friend Jane. That's talkcycles.tumblr.com. Also with Jane, Ready for Heidelin, the Final Fantasy XIV podcast. That is readyforheidelin.tumblr.com. We have a Twitter, but we are moving over to Tumblr full time because let me tell you, that website ain't looking too good. It's looking a little sick, looking a little beat down.
Look at it; it's got anxiety.
Yeah, it's all of the bits are falling off of it. It's like, oh geez. Yeah, that's me.
I'm Audrey. You can find me on Tumblr, Twitter, co-host, and Blue Sky at Optimum Prime. That's my funny robot internet joke. You can listen to the other podcast I do called Pod of Greed. It's about Yu-Gi-Oh! It's also on the Noise Space Network, along with a bunch of other good shows. I don't know if we mentioned that yet. We didn't, right? Well,
no, we did not.
Go check out Noise Space. There, I've done it now.
Noisespace.xyz.
I've also been cast in a radio drama that is, again, still steadily moving forward, and hopefully we'll have more information about it really soon. And I'm starting a New York City podcast on the Moonshot Network called I'm Eden Here, also, which I hope to have more information about soon. And that's us. Join our Discord by clicking the link in the profile on Twitter for as long as that exists, or in the description of all of our episodes. Fun times ahead. And until next time, I am going to download a car, transform and roll out.
Hey, I'm gonna crack over nail with the boys, shotgun and then fucking headbutt a steel wall. Yeah, transform and roll out.
Peach.
Yeah.